Hey, what is going on, you clunky cling clang? I'm bringing you guys the hot new tech in the Duraludon VMAX deck. It is the Team Yell Towel. Heal 50 damage from both active Pokemon. Of course, now you're probably asking, why would I want to heal damage from my opponent's active Pokemon? Well, sometimes we'll have damage and our opponent won't. And then also, we hit so hard with the Duraludon VMAX. Let's just say we're up against a, I don't know, like a Mew VMAX. And we hit them with the G Max Pulverization, and then they hit us with Max Miracle because they got a special energy on them, so they can't hit us for any harder than a Max Miracle. So they do 130 damage to us, and we're like, okay, that's cool. Use Crystal Cave, play a Team Yell Towel, and then we'd heal 50 from them. We could even play 2 Team Yell Towels, and we could heal 100 damage from them, fully heal our Duraludon VMAX of that Max Miracle, and then still knock them out with a G Max Pulverization, because that would be 440 damage over 2 G-Max Pulverization's attacks. Healing 100 from them means we're still doing 320 damage, which means we're still knocking out almost every single VMAX in the format, while also keeping our Duraludon alive that much longer. These have been super clutch against the Mew VMAX matchup, especially when they have to go down that Max Miracle route. Sometimes, even though it's only doing 130 damage, get a couple tablets involved over a couple turns, and that's enough to like 2 or 3 hit KO, usually 3 hit KO, our Duraludon VMAX. But with the Team Yell Towels, they don't really ever get that chance to actually KO us through the Max Miracles. Super clutch in that matchup can be really good up against the Zacian matchup as well. With the Zacian Zamazenta matchup, they're not ever one hit KOing us, but a couple Brave Blades back to back, that's a lot of damage. But we throw a couple towels out there, we use the Crystal Cave, and all of a sudden we're living through the 2-hit KOs. Yeah, the Team Yell Towels, super clutch. I've been seeing people play 2, 3, and 4. I haven't seen anyone been playing 1 Team Yell Towel. I've been rocking 4 just because I love it a lot and I want to see it often. But I definitely think 4 might be a little bit overkill. I feel like 3 might be that sweet spot. But we're going to be playing with 4 today, so you guys can hopefully see the full power of it. And the rest of the list, a couple different changes from the last list I showed you guys, or maybe differences from other lists you guys have seen. So I'll talk about those as well. Of course, we got the 3-3 Duraludon VMAX. I don't play any Zamazenta, because to really get the full value out of Zamazenta to beat stuff like Leafeon and the like Shadow Rider matchup, you really have to play 2 of them to get the full value out of Zamazenta. I feel like one Zamazenta doesn't quite cut it. I don't really want to put 2 spots to Zamazenta, and we only have 2 Zacian in here. Besides the Duraludons, we could go up to 3. I was trying out 3 for a little bit, and it felt good to open up with Zacian. Zacian is generally the Pokemon we want to start with, but it's just kind of a dead card past the first turn, so I didn't love it. But it was definitely nice to open Zacian more often, and sometimes not have to go, you know, searching for it with the Adventurous Discovery as well, if we would just draw into it naturally through a Research or an Avery or a Zinnia's Resolve, which is another card that I've added into here. The Zinnia's Resolve. Avery is a little bit awkward sometimes. Sometimes we just don't want to, you know, discard our opponent's bench. And with Suicune being so underplayed, right? I don't want to say underplayed, because I don't think it should be more played than it is, but not being played very heavily right now, Avery is not quite as good. It can be good against Mew VMAX, but sometimes it's like not really worth playing down versus Mew VMAX. We'd rather just draw more cards for our turn through something like a Zinnia's Resolve, because the discarding of their bench wouldn't really overly disrupt them anyways. So Avery is sometimes good against Mew VMAX, but other matches, not really any other matchups besides that one where it's great, and actually can be a hindrance in a couple of the matchups against VMAX Pokemon, because we sometimes hit a VMAX Pokemon, they switch it to the bench, we don't have a boss to chase it that turn, and then our only draw supporter is Avery, and then they get to discard that VMAX Pokemon. Up against Jolteon, that can happen quite a bit, and we kind of just like heal their VMAX Pokemon for them, so that's not great. Yeah, that's not great. So Avery's not very good in that situation for sure. But the Zinnia's Resolve is super good, because not only does it draw cards on top of our hand, which we definitely want a draw supporter that can do that. That's why Avery is so nice in this deck, because we have a hand of cards. We don't want to play Research to discard them. We don't want to play something like a Marnie or a Shauna to put them back in the deck. We want to just have that hand of cards and build onto it by playing something like an Avery or a Zinnia's Resolve, which does the same thing and usually draws more than 3 cards and also discards cards, which can be nice to help play around Marnie later in the game. We have a lot of cards that become very dead very quickly with this deck. The extra Duraludon pieces, the second Zacian, pretty much all of the Adventurous Discoveries past our first, maybe second Adventurous Discovery are just dead cards. And depending on the matchup, Crystal Caves can start to clog up the hand as well, and clog up the deck even once our opponent Marnies those cards back into our deck. So the Zinnia's Resolve is also super nice for that, and discarding cards, getting them out of the deck, and then yeah, drawing, like I said, more than 3 cards. Avery draws 3 cards. Zinnia's Resolve usually drawing like 4 to 6 cards sometimes too, if we go up against like a mirror match or something, it can be a little bit worse, to be honest. Up against like a mirror match, Zinnia's Resolve does fall off a little bit, and we'd prefer something like the Avery. And the other card in here that I want to talk about is the Sonya. I wasn't sure how I'd feel about this one, and I'm not 100% convinced it's correct to play it, but so far my results with it when I was playing the deck the other day on the stream. By the way, check out the live stream. I stream every day except Tuesdays, twitch.tv/AzulGG. First link in the description. Give it a click, give it a follow. Catch me playing around with decks, playing in tournaments, all that fun stuff. A Sonya in here is basically to have more outs through Pokegear to get our basic Pokemon in play turn 1. So now when we play Pokegear, we don't just have 4 outs from the Adventurer's Discovery. We also have the 2 Sonya, or we could open up with a Sonya or an Adventurer's Discovery. We don't have to Pokegear into them. We can open it in our hand. And then also, a lot of times on our second turn or our third turn, we're just looking for energy to attach to our Duraludons to start setting them up. And Sonya can also do that. It can go search for basic energy as well. So there is some value in it past kind of the first Sonya we play, or if we had already played it at an Adventurer's Discovery, there's still potential for the Sonya to get value because it can just go search us energy. So it's really nice for that as well. And the first turn, getting our basic Pokemon out there is very important. So it is nice to have the extra consistency for that. So not only is the Team Yell Towel the new technology in the deck, but there's also the Sonya, something else for you guys to try out in your Duraludon builds, or if you just want to take this Duraludon build and play it, that also works. But that's going to do it for the list. Yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, give it a like. If you enjoyed the content and you're new here, subscribe and hit the bell. And let's get into some games. All right, we're going second, and I'm not going to lie, our opening hand is not great, but we're really just like a Sonya, or, oh, we're in the mirror match. This one is a terrible matchup. It really comes down to who can find and who can hit more heads on Crushing Hammer first. But we do play the Team Yell Towels, which can swing it a little bit in our favor, especially if our opponent doesn't. But that is an early double energy Intrepid Sword. We got to research, but man, do we have to give up some resources to play this research. We'll play a Crushing Hammer. We do get a heads here. And I do think we do have to play this research. I'm going to throw out the Crystal Cave because they're going to probably be attacking first. I guess they could not be attacking first. They'll probably be attacking first, though. And throw down a... I'm actually going to throw down... They're fighting, to be honest. I'm kind of conflicted on which one I want to put down here. With the fighting, maybe they won't find Crushies and maybe they won't hit heads early on. We'll see. But yeah, with the Team Yell Towels, I think we play... Get a big charm. Man, there's a Crushing Hammer heads. I was thinking about throwing down the metal first because of that. Because like I don't know how many fighting energy I have prized, to be honest. And if I have quite a few prized, then it could lead to the point where I actually can't attack with the Duraludons if they get enough Crushing Hammer heads. So that's like a little bit scary. They would have to go pretty bad for it to go that way, though, to be honest. I think we'll be fine. Yeah, I don't really want a Crushing Hammer off Azation like I did. I would prefer not to. Adventurer's Discovery top deck is exactly what we're going to look for off that Great Ball, though, so that's a good hit. Need that Zacian. Almost misclicked there. Take a quick look through. We didn't prize any fighting energy. That's good. Didn't prize a big charm. Have all the Yell Towels, so we can do a big Yell Towel combo turn at some point. And my opponent missed their attachment on their Duraludon. And we're actually going to attach to our... I actually think I'm going to attach to the active Duraludon here. Yeah, and evolve the active one as well, because we don't have that many switch cards. I only play 3 switch, actually. Usually there's 4 switch, or most people play 4 switch, but like 3 switch isn't that much worse than 4 switch, as most people usually play the extra switch cards. But yeah, or the extra switch card. Most people play 4, I play 3. Really not that big of a difference. It's a little bit of a difference, not a huge difference. But yeah, just don't play it. Oh, my opponent even plays Marnie. This is another card you don't see too often in Duraludon. I wasn't planning to play around Marnie this game, to be honest. I was like, all right, we're gonna keep drawing through our decks. And actually, Duraludon mirrors can get a lot of energy. It's exactly what we wanted to see off of the Marnie, to be honest. But now I don't want to attach to my active Duraludon. I want to attach to my bench one because my opponent. Oh, and there's a. I was attaching to the bench here. It's gonna attach a metal. I think see the problem with attaching a metal, we can attach a metal out of this hand though, I think, and this Intrepid Sword. And I hit one, and I am going to take it and put it on the Zacian. We can actually use Zacian as an attacker in this matchup, especially because we do play double Raihan. Double Raihan can really help us get set up, or get our Zacian set up to actually make an attack with it. Because you may as well set it up as an attacker, go 3-2-3 potentially, depending on how the game plays out. And this one's playing out pretty awkwardly for us, especially being down 2 switch, like I mentioned, because this Duraludon is just in a very precarious spot. Another Marnie coming out of my opponent here. We lose our Crushing Hammer again, which is what I'm trying to hold on to and utilize here to prevent my opponent from starting to be able to attack. But another Marnie, I lose my Crushing Hammer. Maybe we'll be able to find another one. We do still have, I think all 3 left of them are in the deck. All 3 left are in the deck. And the draw is, we'll probably play the research. Oh, they play the E-switch, moves the energy off the bench to the active. This is going to put us in a little bit of a pickle, to be honest. This is not where we want to be. And I drew my team Yeltao, so I can't even make that play happen that I wanted to. Sheesh, what do I even want to do here? Attach here, I think. And then, oh, shoot. Attach here and then research, I think. Then I may as well play this Team Yeltao. I might be able to get off one more Team Yeltao. This survives another hit, which would be pretty good, to be honest. We need to find a VMAX. We found the VMAX for this one, though. Got that. It did not find the other Team Yeltao. So this Duraludon's going to go down, but we should be able to attack on our next turn after my opponent knocks out this Duraludon. Even if they get a Crushing Hammer heads, maybe we could find a Raihan off one of these Pokegears to get this one still set up and attacking on the next. We really need it to be set up and attacking on the next turn, to be honest. All right, here comes this hit from my opponent, knocking out my Duraludon. All right, it's my turn to attack. I'm gonna send up my Duraludon here and start swinging myself. I still kind of want to play a Raihan here. Do I want to attack with the Zacian, I guess would be the question. I don't have the Raihan for sure, so I feel like I should just send this up. I was like very much convincing myself to like do a different play there. Okay, Zinnia's Resolve. Gonna get rid of double Crystal Cave because we don't need those anymore. Just thin them out of the deck, I think, is the way to go here. Or should I check for the Raihan first, actually? I think I should check for Raihan first. I think if I do find a Raihan, I would play a Raihan here. I'm gonna grab a Sonya just in case you want to use that to find some energy on a future turn, and then use another one. Maybe we find that Raihan. Found that Raihan. That's perfect. That's exactly what we wanted to see here. Gonna go ahead and accelerate a Metal Energy to the Zacian. Then I can search my deck for any one card, and I almost want to go down the route of Crushing Hammer. I think I do want to go down the route of the Crushing Hammer here, because it's just pretty good, to be honest, to just throw out some Crushing Hammers here. Hopefully get a heads. Got a heads. Gonna get rid of the Fighting Energy. Sometimes it feels like it's better to get rid of the Metal Energy, but in this situation we want to get rid of the Fighting to force our opponent to find a Fighting, because if they have a Metal, if they only have Metal, they can't attack this turn. There's a good chance they'll have a Fighting. I'm not like expecting them to not actually have a Fighting Energy here, to be honest. I'm expecting them to be able to attack here. The Cook is coming out. That is a huge swing in damage. Well, not quite out of range though. They're still at 210 with the Cook plus the Crystal Cave. They need a little bit more. A Big Charm or a Yell Towel of their own would do it. Even just switching to the bench would be pretty annoying. I do have the boss, but of course they do force me to have it. And yeah, I'm sure if they have a switch, they'll play it here. The Cook almost doing work here. Almost. Just not quite getting it out of range. Maybe they thought they were going to get out of range, but yeah, not quite getting out of range. So maybe a little bit of a waste of the Cook there for my opponent. We have one comboed with a Big Charm that would put them out of range. That's what we try and do with the Yell Towels. But we get to put down the Yell Towels in the same turn that we would attack, kind of. And there's the switch, so they do get to run away to the Duraludon VMAX. We are going to boss that up and take that out, but they do get to run away for a little while here. And, you know, on their side of the field, you know, you may as well do that and hope your opponent doesn't have boss. Do a quick look at what we got left here. So the Crushing Hammer doing work there and preventing this one from being able to attack was a pretty big deal there. I am still going to go boss knock this out. I can't let this heal out of range of a 2-hit KO. We definitely have to go chase that thing down. So, yeah, come on up. Attach to my Zacian. And then swing for the knockout. And we're hoping for a Big Charm off the prize cards here to put on our Zacian. So if my opponent doesn't play Tool Scrapper or can't find it, then they actually can't 1-hit KO Zacian through the Big Charm. And then that'll be able to get a hit in, and then we can move it back to the bench and maybe utilize it later on. We do also need to find the switch to move this Duraludon VMAX. That's another card we're probably going to have to look for. There's a lot of things we need, actually, to be honest. There's a Raihan from my opponent, though. So now my opponent is actually just a boss away from closing this one out. So now we're in a not a great situation, to be honest. So they can hit, and then they can boss knock out, and then we kind of just lose. And here's even a Crushing Hammer to maybe make things worse, and that is going to make things worse. Removing my Fighting Energy. I can't even attack this turn with my active right now. I might have to hard retreat. This has actually got pretty bad for us. I think we might be going down in the mirror match here. My opponent is ahead on the damage where it matters. I wouldn't mind playing a research if I can find one, to be honest. Let's go ahead and play this. Just a boss. Do I ever boss their Zacian? How many switch have they used? Only one boss on Zacian. Does not seem very good. I will take the boss to have it as an option later on. Also increase my chances of finding a switch off the Avery. But I think it's going to become my draw supporter here. Oh my goodness. Oh no. This is looking about as bad as it can get. What can we even do is the question. My answer is not much. How do I tackle this situation? I don't know. we could do this. I can bench. Now, we probably still lose, but I'm going to bench this Station. I'm going to attach to my active. I'm going to retreat and attack with Zacian, because this is pretty basically all we can do this turn. And then if my opponent doesn't have boss for game, we will Raihan to this Station, attach to this Station, and get a big catcher, or big charm. Big catcher. What would that even do? These are big dudes, I guess. But there's the boss. So we do end up losing this one. Weren't able to ever... Yeah, the Marnies were actually really annoying for my opponent because we weren't able to build up a hand. Our first research wasn't great as well. We lost the Yell Towel and weren't able to utilize that Crushing Hammer either. And yeah, the Marnies were pretty annoying in the middle of the game. We weren't ever able to build up a hand with those Yell Towels like we want to do to kind of negate an attack of our opponents. Weren't ever able to really pull that off. My opponent almost did it with the Cook, but yeah, then they had the Raihan when they needed it. And yeah, I mean, that's the Duraludon mirror right there. All right, we get the coin flip win in this one, but I actually do prefer to go second, especially on the ladder, because the Mew VMAX matchup in particular, we do want to be going second again so we don't get donked by the Meloetta. And there's a lot of matchups in general where actually going second just feels a little bit better. So I do like going second overall. We are up against the Mew VMAX, it looks like here, which is an interesting matchup. There's a lot of different ways we can approach this matchup to try and win. Some of them better than others, but in general, yeah, pretty solid matchup overall. I definitely think it is favorable. Yeah, a lot of different ways we can approach this matchup to try and get the dub. And yeah, I do like going second in general just because it lets us get off that turn 1 Adventure Discovery or the Sonya and just find our Pokemon to start setting up for getting out of turn 2 Duraludon VMAX and stuff like that. So, and especially when, you know, most of ladder or the most popular deck on ladder is Mew VMAX, the pretty safe bet that any deck you go up against is going to be Mew VMAX, of course, because it is the most popular deck. So pretty safe bet to just kind of assume whatever you're up against is Mew VMAX. And actually in this opening hand, we could go with an Avery as our initial supporter here. Depends how much they fill up their bench. If they get a full bench on this first turn, I'm definitely tempted to go for it to disrupt my opponent a little bit here. Definitely tempted to do that, but otherwise we'll be waiting on that and just going with the turn 1 Adventure Discovery, get out some more Duraludon stuff. And yeah, looks like that's the route we're gonna go here. Duraludon, and I'll leave a VMAX in the deck just in case my opponent does play Marnie. Usually Mew VMAX does not play Marnie, but they might. So we're gonna go ahead and leave that in there. Throw down the Duraludon Vs. I'll put a Metal Energy. Put a Fighting Energy down. Probably should go with the Fighting Energy. It's gonna be a little bit harder to find, right? They could boss KO that, but I don't know. Let's go with the Metal Energy. All right, let's go with the Metal. All right, Intrepid Sword. No hits, but that's fine. We don't really need to hit hits off the Intrepid Swords. And already one switch card gone from my opponent. One of our win conditions in this matchup can simply be to boss up my opponent's Genesect over and over and over again. That can be one of our best win conditions actually in this matchup, to be honest. And 2 Power Tablets already getting burned from my opponent, but they have the boss to go with it. That's what I was going to be a little bit scared of. If they do have the boss to go with it, they can get the KO on my Duraludon V potentially if they can find themselves that VMAX. All they need is the VMAX at this point. Actually, they got the double Power Tablet. Quick Ball there, doesn't grab a Genesect. They had another one in hand, so 2 more Genesect draws. Will they find the VMAX? I'm not gonna lie, if I had to guess, I would assume yes. Hopefully they don't. We really don't want them to, but that's Mew Genesect for you. They're pretty good at getting what they want, and they do find themselves that Mew VMAX here. They didn't have to burn any other switch cards, unfortunately for me. Just the one Escape Rope gone so far, but they do have a special energy on this Mew VMAX, which does mean they can't actually use Cross Fusion Strike. They have to use Max Miracle for only 130 damage when they want to hit my Duraludon. And yeah, because they've already burned, 2 tablet, it severely limits the potential damage that they can do. And now they're actually down a Training Court as well. I'll probably go for a boss here on a Genesect to start to play it slow. I could go for a Raihan if I get one off a Pokegear, but then my opponent could just boss punch my... Well, I guess they did use Technoblast, so maybe I could go with the Raihan play to force him to have a switch to actually even hit this turn. Well, I guess let's see if we get a Raihan. If I get a Raihan, I think I will play it. Did not get a Raihan. So now I'm tempted to go down the Avery route. I'll also go with Sonya just to search out some Metal Energy. But I don't mind disrupting their bench a little bit. Oh my gosh, so many Fighting Energy. Another Yell Towel is really nice, though. I really like the Yell Towel. That'll be very good for us. I can search out the Metal Energy on my discard pile with this Training Court. If I want to, then I do lose access to the potential for Raihan. So I don't think I'm going to do that yet. I think I'm just going to wait. I'll go with the Fighting here. And I think we're just going to Intrepid Sword. like there's no energy for them to recover, so I don't need to take away the training court from them basically yet. Because yeah, they can't utilize it anyways. So I'm gonna Intrepid Sword first. If they knock out my Zacian on the next turn, I can actually, well, there's all my fighting energy. If they knocked out my Zacian and I drew a Raihan off the Intrepid Sword, I could have used the Raihan. But if I take the energy out of my discard pile, I can't use the Raihan. So I want to wait for a turn just to see what I draw into. Did not find it. But because my opponent, like I mentioned, they did go with... Ooh, they actually quick balled the boss there. It's a good sign that they probably won't be bossing on my Duraludon. But to be honest, I'd be kind of fine with them bossing the Duraludon. I have the switch card ready to go. But because they did use the Techno Blast on the last turn, that's why I didn't use boss on this turn to bring up a Genesect, because they need a switch card anyways to attack again with this Mew. This does mean, though, because I didn't boss, and actually there's an escape rope. Okay, that's a little bit annoying. I'm not gonna lie, that's a little bit annoying, but that is another switch card gone, and this does mean I get to keep around my Zacian for a little bit longer to use more Intrepid Swords to draw into more cards. So to be honest, I'm not, I don't hate this situation. I think this is fine. They're only gonna hit us for 130 damage as well. That's all they can do this turn, because they can only use the Max Miracle to hit us. So we can put the use a... I even have to use a Team Yell Towel yet? I almost think I don't have to use a Yell Towel yet. We did get ourselves a Zinnia's Resolve. This is the exact kind of situation why we play the Zinnia's Resolves. Draw a bunch of cards. But I could go with the boss play here instead. Go with the boss play. They did use another switch card. So I kind of want to go with the boss on a Genesect. Buy ourselves a little bit of time, burn another switch card maybe, and then this is definitely coming out, definitely attaching. Question is, do I want to use a towel? I only have 230 HP. They can't hit me for that much, to be honest. And at this point, I will recover this metal energy before I put this in play. So I think I'm safe to not use a Yell Towel here. I'll just heal it. We'll have 200 HP. The most they can do is they can do 200. They could go double tablet plus Vitality Band. Okay, they can do exactly... Oh, but I have 230 HP. So I don't think I need to use a Team Yell Towel yet. We're just going to switch and Intrepid Sword. One thing, for the current situation, one thing I do have to be careful about, though, is actually... I'm almost closer to decking out than my opponent. So my opponent could all of a sudden go down the route of, oh, I'm just not going to play any more cards anymore and let you deck out first. So I do have to be careful of that to make sure I'm not decking out first ever against them. Got to slow down a little bit maybe. But if they keep drawing cards, then I can keep drawing cards. It really does depend on what my opponent does more so than me, what I want to do. My opponent's drawing cards, then I can draw cards, and then we'll be all good. But the Team Yell Towels are definitely... if we don't win through... deck out by constantly just trapping a Genesect in the active. If we don't win that route, the Team Yell Towels to just kind of heal through the damage from the Max Miracle is really our savior, to be honest. That really is our savior. So that's what we kind of look for in these situations. Gonna go with the Crushing Hammer, try and trap this Genesect in the active. Boom, perfect. Get rid of that. Throw down a Big Charm. Play a Zinnia's Resolve. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of these Pokemon first, I think. Maybe keep the Zacian. Get rid of a Discovery. Well, do I ever want to set up another Duraludon? I could set up another Duraludon at some point. Maybe I'll get rid of Research. I don't think I'm ever playing a Research and a Discovery. Zinnia's Resolve for 5 here. Once again, gotta kind of be a... Didn't get a Stadium. That's what I was really looking for here, was a Stadium. The attachment. Oh, I do take 20 from that. Does that ever make me... I was like, maybe I shouldn't have actually attached there. 240. I think we're still... Go down to 210, but like I said, the max they can do is 200. Okay, Intrepid Sword. On a Stadium. Now, I am decking out first, but I have a feeling that my opponent's going to be playing cards on the next turn. If they're not, I am going to have to figure something out here, but I think we'll be okay. We can start attacking with Zacian eventually even and make that our initial attacker, and then even go like Duraludon, boss KO Genesect, boss KO Genesect or something. And that would work as a win condition there. There's a boss from my opponent, and then here comes the Genesect for 1. Them hitting here would be really annoying, to be honest, but I do have 2 Team Yell Towels. Could heal some of the damage. The Chromatic is a Tails. I'm not getting a switch here would be very nice, to be honest. And I might have to hard retreat this Duraludon. I could just attack, though. I could just attack. It really all depends on what my opponent does this turn. A Power Tablet is coming out, so they're drawing pretty aggressively here. A lot of damage to be wasted if they don't find themselves a switch card. If they don't find themselves a switch card here, that's a lot of damage. Double Tablet, I think, right? And there's the Concede. Yeah, they're basically all out of stuff. If they don't get the switch this turn, that's too much damage wasted, and it's going to be a pretty easy dub for us. All right, we won the coin flip, but we will be going second. We just want to get off that turn 1 Sonya or Adventurer's Discovery. That hand had a lot of pairs in it, but no basic Pokemon, so we're going to open up with a Mulligan. We do that quite a bit, of course. This hand is... That's probably about as good of a hand as you can get. We're up against Rayquaza VMAX, though. which is probably about as bad of a matchup as you can get. That's not a good matchup. We're going to try and do our best here, but that's going to be a rough one. We'll see, though. We'll see. I beat it before. It was not easy. It was pretty tough. And it's a pretty tough matchup for sure, the Rayquaza VMAX. You don't hit it very often, though. Not a deck we're planning to beat. But who knows? We might be able to pull this one out. Let's see. Yep, there's that Sheep, the Mareep. Got the Discovery, though, and we got a Zacian. So we got a really good start. Just in a really bad matchup. But sometimes a really good start is enough to overcome a bad matchup. We're going to see if we can do that here in this one. For sure. Because, this start is actually just... really, really good. And my opponent had a really slow start, it looks like. So we're off. Discovery, grabbing some Duraludons and the VMAX. I might even try and get aggressive here, actually. We're going to shake things up a little bit. Go with an attachment on the active into a Intrepid Sword. And we got a double hit. So we can actually have an aggressive Brave Blade as soon as next turn. As soon as next turn, we're Brave Blading. And this is the kind of stuff you want to do in when you hit matchups that are unfavorable or just kind of bad, to be honest. This is a bad matchup. I got to switch things up a little bit. And maybe hope to get a little bit lucky like we got there. We were really just hoping for one energy, but I'm not going to lie. I don't mind the second. We were hoping for just one metal energy, but I do not mind the second metal energy hit there. And we're going to be chasing Rayquazas as soon as the next turn. But don't be afraid to call an audible when you're in a tough situation or up against a tough matchup. Switch it up. Do what seems best for the scenario, not just what you're used to doing every single turn of every single game. Just like this, where we are like, well, let's just commit to setting up Zacian. And we did it, and it's working. And we're going to be bossing, Brave Blading one of those Rayquazas, or maybe their only Rayquaza in play on this next turn, as they actually went out of their way with the Stormy Mountains. They actually got a Mareep instead of second Rayquaza, not respecting the potential of my Brave Blade here, it looks like, at all. And we're going to go ahead and take advantage of that and take out their only potential Rayquaza here. Oh, no, they had a Quick Ball. Okay. So it looks like they will have another Rayquaza to work with here. Most likely, could still grab something else, but if I had to guess, Rayquaza would be probably their Pokemon of choice here. Knowing that I, might have a boss in my hand, could take out their only Rayquaza. I'm sure they'd want another Rayquaza in play, but let's see. Maybe they still go for like another Mareep or something like that, or even the Boltund. To be honest, this deck does play. There's the Boltund. This deck does play a lot of Boltund. Usually plays a lot of Boltund. I see it pretty often in these decks to try and get off that turn 1 or turn 2 Electrify, just to help accelerate energy into play pretty aggressively. And also you have the option of the Bolt Storm as well, which can be pretty nice. The Bolt Storm can be pretty nice as well. But not even going to get off that. And we're going to get this boss on the Rayquaza. Attach the Duraludon V, evolve the Duraludon VMAX, and Brave Blade knockout. Hold onto the Crushing Hammers, I feel like. Maybe I'll throw it out there. Why not? Boom. Goodbye, energy. Brave Blade. Knock out the Ray. And then, keep working on our Duraludons. We're probably not going to be attacking with this Zacian on the next turn, because, of course, Brave Blade can't attack next turn with it. So we're going to be looking for some more energy for our Duraludon. A Sonya off one of these Pokegears would be great. Grab a Fighting, grab a Metal, start working on our Duraludon. Or even a Raihan for a following turn would also be pretty nice. So I wouldn't mind coming into a Raihan. That's just going to be the concede from my opponent on that one. Yeah, guys. Definitely don't always go down the standard route you play your deck in every single scenario. Every situation is different. Every scenario is different. There's always an optimal way to play out your hand. And sometimes it's trying to go for the turn 2 Brave Blade up against a Rayquaza VMAX deck. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the games in this video. If you did enjoy the video, give it a like. If you enjoyed the content, be sure to subscribe. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.